I'm Dr. Charm, and I'm here to talk about wearing masks for coronavirus protection. So obviously we're in the midst of the coronavirus disease, COVID-19, global pandemic, and things are changing. Information is changing every day. So most recently, the federal government is recommending that Americans utilize masks when going out in public, whether it's homemade or store-bought or purchased. Masks are now being recommended. And why is that? Why do you need to wear a mask? Well, the coronavirus is highly contagious. It's transmitted through close contact. It's also transmitted through respiratory droplets, which means that when you talk or when you sneeze or you cough, little droplets that are from your lungs and your respiratory system can travel through the air and it can affect another person. So what does a mask do? Why are masks so important? Well, a mask can have a barrier. It forms a barrier between you and that other person. It can prevent you from infecting someone else and someone else from infecting you because it's limiting these droplets that are spread when you talk to people. This is why the whole 6 feet of social distancing has been really important. So what kind of masks can you use? At this point, any, household item that's breathable is really important. I've seen people do coffee filters. What the CDC is saying is that you can do cotton t-shirts. So this is a cotton t-shirt. If you don't have anything else, you can use cotton. A double layer is important because that's going to give more of a protection and more of a barrier. Also, if you have flannel, that double layer of cotton flannel will also work. The most important thing is that you're comfortable breathing in it. If you're not comfortable breathing in it, it's not going to do you any good, okay? So a t-shirt that you fashion into a mask and even just, make a homemade bandana, that is something that will give you some protection against transmission of coronavirus. So here's another, I've got this fancy cloth mask. You're starting to see these online. People are selling these. This offers some type of barrier. The cool thing about this one is that it has a pocket here where I can put a filter in. So if you can get a filter to put inside, that's even going to give you even more protection. This is a surgical mask. This is something you guys see the doctors on TV. This is a surgical mask. It does offer some protection against viruses, bacteria transmitting, preventing the spray of respiratory droplets. This is an N95 mask. This is the most effective mask that's going to help prevent the spread of coronavirus and other bacteria and viruses. These are hard to come by. Our medical personnel and people really on the front lines are running out of these. And so, we're reserving those for the healthcare personnel. Is what the government is asking everybody to do is donate if you can. But if you have access to these are really the best thing to have. So how do you disinfect the mask? Because these masks are really, they're really meant to be used once and discarded. But because there's a shortage, there have been new guidelines in how to utilize them and reuse them and disinfect them. So one thing that you can do is to disinfect is to put the mask over a pot of boiling water. So the boiling water has steam, and that steam can heat up, that vapor will heat up and kill viruses. The problem with that is that with any type of mask, when you have steam and moisture hit it, it's going to degrade the mask. That's a problem. So this is still better than nothing, okay? But what I found and what I really like is I got a cell phone sterilizer. So this is a cool little box. These are like, I've seen these online for anywhere from $30 to $60. It's meant to sterilize your cell phone. It has a nice little 1 inch, probably 1 inch deep. You can put a phone here or your keys or your wallet, things that are really contaminated, and you can sterilize it. And it's using what's called ultraviolet light, the same light from the sun. Ultraviolet light is very effective in sanitizing and disinfecting items. It can kill bacteria and viruses 99.9%. So this is big enough to put a mask. So I have my N95 mask. I put it in here, and then I can sterilize this and have some really good benefits because I'm reusing this mask. So the thing about it is, once you've sanitized, however, whether you're using steam, whether you're using the cell phone sterilizer, you want to store the mask away from other items. You want it to not growing any type of bacteria or viruses. So you want to store it in a breathable bag, whether you're using cloth, whether you're using the N95, and you put it in a breathable bag. You don't want to use a plastic bag because bacteria and viruses and germs, they like warm, moist environments. And so when you put it in a plastic bag, it's basically in this contained environment where it can grow the bacteria and viruses. So putting it in a paper bag, put it away from everything else. You keep it here until you reuse it. The other thing that they've recommended too is to mark, how many times you've disinfected the mask, so that you can keep up with it, because usually after about 5 uses, it's really not good to use it and discard and get another one. If you've been using cloth, soap and hot water, so basically running this through a washing machine cycle will kill any viruses on the surface. Soap will kill coronavirus. That's why hand washing is so important. Make sure before you put on a mask that your hands are clean. You've washed your hands. I've got my gloves on. I've washed my hands. But you want to wash your hands and make sure they're clean before you put the mask on. And of course, when you're taking the mask off and disinfecting it and everything, make sure you're washing your hands afterwards. So hopefully this has been of some benefit to you. Follow me at CharmGirl77 on Instagram. I'm on Facebook, Dr. Charm Tims, and you can go to my website, drcharmtims.com. Thanks. Be safe.